Hey kids, it's that time again. Time for another Blood Hunt tie-in review. Yep. So as you guys know, Chris sent me all the tie-ins to the event Blood Hunt, and I haven't gotten the X-Men one yet. I think that's supposed to come in today. So yeah, and there's one. So we're down to two more I got to get through on the Marvel side. So yeah. Safe to say I'm going to be sick of vampires for a bit. Anyway, so, but on a serious note, Chris, thank you as always for these books. I deeply appreciate it. Anyway, so, let's talk about Blood Hunters Once More Into the Darkness. Now, this is a fascinating book in the sense that this comic is kind of two things. It's an anthology book, but also has this through line of building up a new storyline that I don't think anyone's going to want to read. This is technically I guess you could call it the prequel, or maybe volume 1 of this ongoing series that's going to be the aftermath of Blood Hunt and dealing with that, called the Blood Hunters, which I'll talk about that story right now. Each of these 4-issue books have 3 stories in them, and the third one is just building the team that's going to be the aftermath comic. You know, there's always a new ongoing that comes out of it, like spinning out of the events of such and such. Here's a book that'll get like 8 issues and you'll never care again. Which sucks because it's written by Erica Schultz, and I think she's a really solid writer. It's just that none of this appealed to me as wanting to read all this. And also, maybe it also has something to do with I've literally been reading every Blood Hunt tie-in. I'm very sick of Marvel vampires for a while. I'm just like, that's enough. Yeah. But anyway, as I was saying, the third story is like I said, a formation of this new team called the Blood Hunters. Who are the Blood Hunters? It's basically Yelena. Can't imagine why she's in front. She's first and foremost on this book. Dagger from Cloak and Dagger. Then you have Hallows Eve, a character no one gives a single iota of a shit about. God knows I do. Most of you know her best as Ben Reilly's girlfriend, Ben Reilly's. Are they still dating, or did Ben Reilly just go full chasm and they left? Because here she's an anti-hero. But she's also known as Hallows Eve, and finally Elsa Bloodstone, which makes the most sense out of all of them. And it's basically the 3 of them coming together to make this team, and that's really it. They're going to be cleaning up with the vampire shit going on. As for the book on a whole, as for the other stories, it's just 2 other unconnected stories that are arguably better than the one the through line. Because here it's just like, who are you? I'm such and such. Cool, you want to join our team? Cool. Yeah. The other stories are arguably a lot better. The Clint Barton story is a lot of fun, because even though I haven't read the Black Widow and Hawkeye miniseries, this basically, I guess, here's the thing, Clint Barton really gets shit on as a character for, I think Barton gets shit on harder than Peter Parker sometimes. But yeah. Clint's wanted for apparently being framed for assassinating a U.S. ambassador, and that's when the vampires show up, so he basically has to get the New Yorkers together and fight back. Then you have the second story, which is Man Wolf, and this one's written by Christos Gage, so it was really awesome. John Jameson, a.k.a. Man Wolf, and his father in the events of this, and it actually showcases that, John's a little bit jealous of his dad's new friendship with Peter, so I thought that was it's a pretty fun story. There's also just some straight up badass moments with John where he's basically the stake, when he's fighting vampires, the vampires taunting him, is like, you thought you could kill us humanely with a stake? And he's like, no, the stake was the humane option, and then just bites the vampire's head off. And then just use it, because remember, he has the Moonstone. He's not like a true werewolf. John just uses the Moonstone to Care Bear stare the shit out of a vampire. It's kind of awesome, really. So those stories are, yeah. Then you have a Hulk story where Hulk has been captured by some vampires in a trucking group, and it's a really depressing story. But it's very typical of Hulk. I will say it's kind of weird because I'm like, when did this happen during Philip Kennedy Johnson's run? Because he got a tie-in already. Then you had Kate Bishop's tie-in, which is set before her tie-in in Avengers, which is pretty cute, but it's kind of weird because it's how the story goes of like her meeting vampire ghost twins and whatnot. There's no mention of that in the Avengers story. The last two, like the other stories that were fun, were a Doctor Doom story where Doom basically saves the life of a Latvian embassy woman who is trying to start a rebellion within Latveria. But he does it like, of course, it's in typical Doom fashion. He's like, yeah, I already know. The other story after that is really fun because it focuses on a lesser-known Marvel character named Hellcow, and how that story is like it's treated almost like a H.P. Lovecraft story where it's a guy who's like we don't really get a lot about the narrator and the main character, but he was working for an old man who's like, don't go in the barn. And then he reveals, oh shit, it's Hellcow, who, if you don't know what Hellcow is kind of a joke character from the 70s, who was a cow that was bitten by Dracula and became a vampire cow. It's actually, like, it's played straight, it's kind of fun, and I really like it, because it's again, treated like an H.P. Lovecraft story, but it's told in the way of with a fucking vampire cow. It's kind of awesome. As for the other one, the following story after that is a Silver Surfer story. Try saying that 3 times fast. Written by Fabian Nicieza, which is actually really cool because it talks about, for those who remember in the event, everyone who is a conduit for the Dark Force. Varney used them to blanket the world in pure darkness through the Dark Force. So basically, what this story is about Norrin Radd. Traveling to Earth and being like, oh shit, there's a big fucking dome of darkness in there, and he's basically trying to like free the people in the story. I mean, from the Dark Force and Varney's hold on them. The final one that's not part of the main story is about Satana, not Zatanna, Satana, Satan's daughter, and her just kind of living it up. I gotta be honest, like I said, I think the main draw is Erica Schultz's comic, which I feel like if you wanted to do like a new ongoing that people would give a shit about, I feel like that should have been the bigger draw. That should have been the bigger story, not like some third afterthought behind other comics. Either make this an anthology story of like the heroes, what they were of separate heroes of what they were doing during the vampire siege, or don't. Because it feels like there was 2 different ideas in this comic, and it was hard to balance both. So do I recommend Blood Hunters? I mean, aside from, like, there are some cool stories, but I would just kind of say skip it. It's not really necessary unless you really want to check out the Blood Hunters ongoing, which is just kind of like, nah. Erica Schultz is a really good writer. I just don't have any appeal to it. But yeah. So Chris, I know you're watching this, and I know I was joking earlier, but yeah. As always, thank you from the bottom of my heart about these books. I deeply appreciate every time you send a new comic to me. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below if you've read Blood Hunters. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.